Hello to all my wonderful subscribers, devout disciples, viewers, welcome. This is your Master GongSun. Today we will continue with our discussion of chapter 18 of the WenZi, further understanding the mysteries, further teachings of LaoZi, translated by Thomas Cleary. Let us begin chapter 18. LaoZi said, "As to the roaming of sages, they move in utter emptiness. Let their minds meander in the great nothingness. They run beyond convention and go through where there is no gateway. They listen to the soundless and look at the formless. They are not constrained by society, nor bound to its customs. So that whereby sages move the world is not exceeded by real people." Remember, Zenren, real people, the saints, those who have cultivated enough to attain enlightenment. "Whereby good people rectify social customs is not observed by sages. When people are caught up in social customs, they are inevitably bound physically and drained mentally. Therefore, they cannot avoid being burdened. Those who allow themselves to be tied down are always those whose lives are directed from outside." Well, this has lots of applications, but let's unpack this. Essentially, we don't want to be burdened or tied down by temptation. A happy life is a free life. According to LaoZi, those who allow themselves to be tied down are always those whose lives are directed from outside. This means you have no control over your own life. And who the hell wants that, right? No one wants to be someone else's slave. Right? I mean, eventually humanity figured it out that no one likes slavery and that it's pure evil. I mean, the US had to have a whole civil war to figure that out. Whereas Brazil was the last country in the world to abolish slavery in 1889, if I'm not mistaken. So we got to ask ourselves, like, how did this happen, right? I mean, there's, of course, physical slavery, but what about mental slavery, right? How are we mentally bound to institutions? It's because we've been brainwashed by dogma and just constant repetition by those around us, right? It says, well, what does it say? "The sages move in utter emptiness. They let their minds meander in the great nothingness. They run beyond convention and go through where there is no gateway. They listen to the soundless and look at the formless. They are not constrained by society and bound to its customs." And no one wants that because society is not always right. We want to live outside of society, mentally anyway. We don't want to be captured by anything else. Except, of course, the Tao, which is always the true and eternal way to enlightenment. But this lesson, I mean, here's your homework for this lesson. You have to examine where your beliefs come from. Ask yourself, are my beliefs, do they exist because I have been indoctrinated or ingrained by society since I was little? For example, boys don't cry. I mean, that's not relevant to every culture, but in the West, I mean, that is something that's a learned behavior. Boys do cry, not just girls, and it's okay to cry. But a society that's telling us, oh, boys don't cry. This I learned in psychology class, actually. But that's not necessarily correct or even right, right? Boys can cry. Just because you're a boy doesn't mean you don't have emotions, right? So you got to ask yourself, where does this come from? Where do my beliefs come from? For example, the belief that boys don't cry, right? Then you realize, hey, it's my society telling me all this. And if it's a useless belief, if it no longer serves a purpose, then you should get rid of that belief. All right, this has been your Master GongSun. As usual, keep living in alignment with the Tao.